What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Strung Out. And we're returning to the Element of Sonic Defiance 2000. Thank you again to Paulie. And the next track is Savant, which I think has a slightly distinct technical meaning compared to how it's often used in pop culture and colloquial speech, which is to say, it literally means someone who is well versed and knowledgeable in a particular field, but it's often used as the expression idiot savant, meaning someone who is perhaps deficient in mental or social capacities, though is very gifted and talented in one particular way, the sort of Rain Man model, if you will, the Dustin Hoffman character. So yes, I would expect maybe the meaning here to be more down the line of someone who, again, is very knowledgeable in one specific area, but is absent-minded or socially awkward in other ways, though I suppose it's possible that the more direct or literal meaning of just someone who's very erudite in a particular field is possible as well. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Strung Out, the track is Savant, and it's from the 2000, I think, EP, technically, The Element of Sonic Defiance. So definitely on the heavier rock, almost metal side of the punk rock spectrum here. And in fact, it started like slower, almost like a an ambient alternative rock opening, and then it went into a heavier sound. And although there are a couple moments there that sound a little bit like some of the Strung Out material prior to this, I feel like this is distinct territory relative to a lot of what I've heard. Now, admittedly, I didn't hear the Skinny Years before they got fat, and I still intend on going back and hearing some of their earliest stuff, but yes, it does feel like it's more like new metal infused. I don't know if that's the right label, but yeah, it feels less like what I normally think of when I think of like late 90s, early 2000s punk rock, and just the guitars are heavier, they're thrashier. Maybe thrash is sort of the word that I'm looking for. And the vocals too. Again, there's been moments where he's sung very powerfully. Is it Jason? Am I remembering that right? Yeah, Jason is on voice according to this. But yeah, his vocals here just had this real like rawness to them, like this aggression. So yeah, it feels like even distinct a bit vocally compared to a lot of what we've gone through previously. I only caught a few lines here and there, so I'll look in a moment. It just, at this point it's like a tradition of the Strung Out deep dive to check out the lyrics, even though that does sort of run counter to a lot of what I do in my first exposure to music or on this channel specifically. But yeah, just a very intense and rocking tune. There was that moment where I think the line was something like fade away, and the vocal just carried and got distorted, or like not distorted with effects or anything, but it's like he went into like the throat voice and was like very guttural, and then it like you could feel the breath like coming out of his delivery, such that it was almost like he was dying and fading away in a vocal technique, not just the word or the concept. So it felt like there was a bit of, conceptualization in the manner of vocal delivery at one or two moments. So yeah, it's definitely a different style, it feels like, on this album. And it makes sense. Again, this is not the same as 94 or so on. This is several years later, and they're clearly exploring the heavier side. Now, I've even said it before, going through Twisted by Design, which is an album that I actually knew going back when I was younger, as well as some of the material before that. They already, I suppose, were on the heavier end of the punk rock spectrum with a bit of a metal infused sound, but this just sounds like it's even more far away from what, again, I would consider the Fat Records sound or whatever. And in fact, I'm forgetting in the moment, this isn't on Fat Records, right? I don't think it is. I'll look it up in a moment. But yes, ultimately, it's interesting to hear their sonic evolution and perhaps sonic defiance. Perhaps that's what this is partly about. No, it is on Fat Records. It absolutely is. So still on the same label. And fair to say, there has been variety on Fat Records. It's not like, all the bands on the label have had the same sound, mind you, but okay, so the lyrics. Here I can hold them off for a while, at least till I think of a way to make them see what I gotta show, and to make them feel what I already now know, or know now. I feel like that should be the other way around, right? I feel like know rhymes better with show than now. That's just, I suppose, a technical, that's the editor in me. But pour the gas all over me, light a match, say a prayer, and set me free. That invokes the image of, I forget the guy's name, but that Buddhist monk who set himself on fire outside the American embassy, which Rage Against the Machine used for the cover of their self-titled album. But yeah, turn your cameras on this burning boy. Indeed, I'll be the life of an image you can't destroy. Wow, I mean, that really is sort of a direct reference. To see me here is to pass me by, and to watch me live is to watch me die. Which, again, that was the whole idea, right? To make an example, to make a sacrifice with your own life, to draw attention to something, and to create an indelible image that people won't be able to stop talking about conveniently. And to watch me live is to watch me die. Your conscience ignored, your panic spread. Your, as in you are, your whimper in the wind that no one said. That must be a typo here. Yeah, that must be a typo. Your whimper, I'm going to assume is possessive. Whimper in the wind that no one said. You crucify what you fear, hold up to the light, make it shine. The desperation in my eyes is no dim reflection I won't disguise. But you never listened, too afraid to give. Now I'm giving up on you. To save face and deny you've lost your chance for a better way. Assassinate the threat, immortalize the corpse. Write a book about the show and sell it to the source. Riddle me this and I'll share your world around. Hang me on a wall and I'll bring your hurt down. Wow. So I do feel like there is a bit of that, again, image of the Buddhist monk killing himself in a way that was sure to draw attention to what was happening, abuses in the war, the attempt to politically dominate through military brutalization and so on. But yeah, it's ultimately, I think there's some lines that you can interpret on a more individual level. But even the lines like, now I'm giving up on you, because, you never listened to Afraid to Give, now I'm giving up on you, to save face and deny you've lost your chance for a better way. I feel like the you could be humanity, it could be a particular populace of a nation state, it could be, directed at a theistic entity who you feel is not doing what it is purported that he or it does. So I feel like there's some lines that are interpretive that could be taken different ways, and that it depends on the context in which it's meant. And ultimately, songs like that, people can interpret in ways that are fitting to a given moment, even if that moment or that process or event takes place after the song was written. So in a way, those kind of lines can make a song timeless, even if there was a very particular meaning in the context of here, 2001, or maybe 2000 when it was written. So yeah, a very poetic set of lines, which is not the first time I've said that about Strung Out. So I'll let those lyrics percolate in my brain. Let me know what you think about them. Let me know what you think about the song. Again, a very intense sound, but having read the lyrics now, I feel like that is perhaps perfectly appropriate given the intensity of the imagery and the concepts at play. So once again, shout out to Paulie. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.